Where do animals go in winter? Lift the flap, first questions and answers. An Osborne Peep Inside book. Where do animals go in winter? Some animals travel to warmer places. Others find ways to protect themselves from the cold, and a few seek out the coldest places. How do we know winter is coming? The main clues are the days getting shorter and the weather getting colder. Falling leaves are a sign too. Here's a little squirrel eating an acorn with its baby squirrel. Where do you go in winter? Says the hedgehog. The hedgehog goes to bed. I have a very long, deep sleep. It's called hibernating. Why can't we stay here? Because it's hard to keep warm in the cold and the food we usually eat isn't available in winter. Moving somewhere else for winter is called migrating. Does the sea get colder too? Here's a sea turtle. Yes, especially near the surface. So some sea creatures swim further south to warmer water and others swim deeper. The water doesn't cool down so much here. Why do emperor penguins go somewhere very cold? Good question. Even scientists don't know for sure why we brave the coldest place on Earth. Maybe it's because no one else dares to come to Antarctica in the winter. So we raise our chicks in icy peace. Here are the little chicks. Do all birds fly away for winter? No, over half of all birds stay put. They find ways to cope with the cold. There may be some new arrivals too, flying in from even colder places. I fluff up my feathers to stay warm. Do animals make winter homes? Yes, many do. They're not like our homes, but they can still be snug and warm. What's under the snow? A network of little tunnels made by lemmings and other small animals. Here's an Arctic fox. Here's a lemming. It's warmer down here because the snow makes a soft blanket. It's also harder for big animals to find us. How do honeybees stay warm? We huddle together in our hive. The queen bee is in the middle of the huddle. It's the worker bee's job to keep her warm until the spring. Who's sheltering this pond? Fish, frogs, and turtles. They hide at the bottom, near under rocks or fallen leaves, or nestled in the mud. Look at this little froggo. What happens when the soil freezes? Here are some earthworms. We tunnel deeper underground where the soil isn't frozen. It gets warmer the lower you go. Is this your winter den, Mr. Polar Bear? Yes, it's a safe place for me to give birth to my cubs. I'll keep them warm through the winter and feed them rich milk. By spring, they'll be big enough to explore the outside world. Are there any animals here under all these leaves? Yes, it's a safe winter home for lots of bugs and a mouse. Who migrates where? Many animals find somewhere warmer for winter. Some travel short distances, others go a very long way. Why do you fly in a V shape? Because it's easier to fly through the air if we're diagonally behind another bird. It uses up less energy, which means we can fly further. We take turns being at the front. Do butterflies migrate? Some do. Monarch butterflies go on the most impressive journey from the USA to Mexico. At night they roost together in trees to stay warm. Turn the page to see what I do. Which birds migrate the furthest? Me, I'm an Arctic tern. Every year I fly from the very north to the very south. By the age of 30, I'll have covered the same distance as flying to the moon and back 3 times. Look at that, from the north to the south. Why do caribou travel north in the summer? Because once the snow has melted, there will be tasty young plants for us to munch on, and for our newborn calves too. Do animals need maps? Look at that. No, they use the sun and stars for direction. Many birds also have their own built-in compasses so they can sense north and south. Where do humpback whales go for winter? Somewhere warm and safe to have their babies. There's hardly any food for the mothers in these warm seas, but at least they're far away from the killer whales, and my calf can fatten up on my milk before we swim back to cooler water. Why do animals hibernate? Because it solves the problem of finding enough food to eat through the winter. They go into a deep sleep instead. Is this butterfly dead? No, it's just hibernating in the spring. It will open its wings and fly again. Aren't you going to freeze? Yes and no. My outside is frozen, but I have special anti-freeze that stops my insides from freezing up. Every summer I thaw out, eat lots, and grow bigger. Then I sleep through the next long winter. Do hibernators get hungry? Not if they eat lots before they hibernate. Hibernating is a way to save energy. Animals keep very still and let their body temperature drop. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? How will you know when to wake up? The milder temperature will warm my body and tell me it's springtime. Where's this bumblebee going? To hibernate underground. She's a queen bumblebee. Other bumblebees die before winter, but the queens hibernate until the spring. Then they lay their eggs and life begins again. Are you hibernating? Sort of. I can sleep for up to a month in the cold winter, but it's not the same deep sleep as other hibernators. I still need snacks. Who's hiding in here? Hundreds of garter snakes. They weave together in the underground den and sleep through the cold winter. Wow, garter snakes. What else helps animals in winter? Some change their coats, others change what they eat. Not all animals survive, but they have ways to make sure their babies do instead. How do you change your coats? As winter nears, our brown hairs of feathers fall out, and white ones grow in their place. Our new thick new coats help us to hide in the white snow and keep us warm too. What are these two insects doing? I'm laying a case with lots of eggs inside. I won't survive until spring, but my eggs will, and then my babies will hatch out. What do foxes eat in winter? Little mice. Eek! Do deer eat grass all year round? No, it's often covered by snow in the winter, but I can eat moss, twigs, bark, and leaves instead. Do squirrels eat different food in winter? No, I still eat nuts. I store them up so I have enough to last me until spring. How can we help? You can make winter easier for many animals. You can also try to stop climate change. Make or buy a bug home. Baby bees are safe here. Mother bees will make little rooms in the long tubes. They put a pollen ball inside each room and lay an egg on it. The egg hatches into a larva. It eats the pollen and grows bigger and makes its cocoon around itself. In the spring, it will fly out as a grown-up bee. Bundle up sticks. They're great homes for beetles. Leave piles of leaves. They're a perfect place for us to hibernate and for other animals to keep warm through the winter. Feed the birds and leave out water for us too. If it ices over, please break the ice. Thank you. What's climate change? It's a change in our weather patterns. It's happening because all of the gases humans are adding to the air. They're warming up the planet and making the weather wilder. How is it making winter harder? Animals don't know when to hibernate or when to wake up. They might get their migration timings wrong. I've missed the tasty young shoots. Warmer winters mean rain instead of snow, which is deadly for some animals. Snow keeps us warm, but rain makes us wet, then freezes around us. How can we stop climate change? Look at this polar bear on the ice cap that's melting. By making changes in our lives so we can stop making harmful gases, cycling and walking more, having adventures closer to home, enjoying nature and looking after it, and telling others we need to change. Don't put harmful gases in the sky. What a great book. Osborne, lift the flap. First, questions and answers. Where do animals go in winter?